Thank you for joining us online for this Info Day. We have already seen some questions for you through the Slido on hashtag EMFAF flagships, with a first question for you. Which country are you joining from? So it's just to get to know you better and your topic of interest as well. We are going to raise your question to you. My name is Vincent Favrel. I'm the head of the Sustainable Blue Economy in CINEA, and I will be chairing this Info Day today. So I hope we can get some of your answers already. Through this Info Day, we will be interacting with you through Slido, so keep this QR code with you and keep connected, so you can also raise any questions at any time on the different presentations that will be made this afternoon. So we have already some indications from where you are connecting with us. We know that you are many today with us. Thank you for this. So we see many participants from Italy, then Belgium, Netherlands, Germany, France, Spain. Yeah. But we have also many other countries represented: Sweden, Portugal, Cyprus, Turkey, Estonia. So many countries are concerned by this call for proposals that we are presenting today. Some of you are even more precise and indicate the regions they are coming from. So now we are asking you which topic you are interested in. So as you will discover, or you know already, there are two topics open for proposals that will be presented today. One dealing with smart specialization and innovation in the blue economy, and another one focusing on regenerative ocean farming and innovation in aquaculture or algae sector more specifically. So we see at the moment that the majority of you are actually interested by both topics. And then around a quarter or 20% are more specifically interested in one of the two topics that are presented. So it's my pleasure to get to know more about you and your interest. So we hope we are going to meet this interest and provide you with useful information on how to apply and what are the expectations beyond each of these specific topics that are open today. So the full title of the call is the Regional Flagships Project Supporting Sustainable Blue Economy in the UC Basins, with focus on smart specialization and regenerative ocean farming and algae innovation. So today, obviously, the purpose is to provide you with practical information to help you prepare successful proposals for this call for proposals. We can see on the next slide an outline of the agenda in a moment. It doesn't seem to work. Yes. So just after my introduction, you will hear about the policy context by my colleague Christos Economou from DG Mare. Then we will have a more detailed presentation of the call for proposals and the two topics that are open by colleagues from CINEA and DG Mare. Then some useful tips and tricks for a successful proposal by Giulia Carboni from CINEA, and then also a very practical presentation on the registering of the organization in order to participate in the calls by colleagues from the Research Executive Agency. You will have, as already said, you will have a lot of time to raise your questions. We'll try to take 2 or 3 questions after each presentation, and then at the end of the afternoon, we'll have a session of questions and answers with all the colleagues around the table to answer those questions, including also colleagues from the financial sector. But if we are not managing to address some of your questions, you still have the chance to raise your questions by sending them to the call functional mailbox, but also we will publish all the questions and answers after the event on the Funding and Tenders portal. The session is being recorded, so you can also have the chance to follow it again or for it later if you want to, and also we'll invite you to complete a satisfaction survey at the end after the information session, which is very useful for us to improve for the next info days. But before going to this heavy agenda of the afternoon, I would like to say a few words about the CINEA, the European Climate Infrastructure and Environment Executive Agency, because I'm sure not all of you are familiar with our agency that was established in April 2021 with the mandate to implement a number of EU funding programs on behalf of the European Commission. The agency is often referred to as the European Green Deal Agency. We are implementing on the ground the European Green Deal, which is that has the objective to make the economy sustainable. We are implementing, as I say, a number of EU funding programs that support the European Green Deal, including moving to circular economy, restoring biodiversity, reducing pollution, and achieving climate neutrality by 2050. In addition to the European Maritime, Fisheries and Aquaculture Fund that we are more closely concerned with today, the agency is implementing a well-known program like Horizon Europe for the transport energy aspect, but also Connecting Europe Facility for Transport and Energy, the LIFE program for climate and environment, or the Innovation Fund, or project that helps to cut greenhouse gas emissions. So we really play as a focal point for EU green and infrastructure project, and as such, we are very much concerned by promoting synergies between the programs, so to make sure that they combine and complement one another to achieve a higher impact between those programs. So coming now on to coming back to the EMFAF program that I'm representing here. This program implements diverse actions contributing to the European Maritime Policy, the Common Fisheries Policy, and the EU International Ocean Governance Agenda. This year, we are celebrating the 10 years of delegation of this program to executive agencies, so of EMFAF, but also EMFF, the predecessor of EMFAF. And during these 10 years, we have been, as you can see from this slide, you have been implementing many diverse actions, projects covering more sustainable fishing and aquaculture practices, the growth potential of the blue economy, protection of the marine ecosystems, and mitigation of climate change, just to name a few of them. Just to give concrete examples of ongoing projects, they cover maritime special planning, scientific advice for fisheries, blue skills and blue careers, sustainable transport, ocean farming, among other topics. We are also supporting a number of cross-cutting assistance mechanisms, focusing on EU sea basins on one side, but also maritime spatial planning and specific sector like algae, aquaculture, or the Blue Invest assistance mechanism that is boosting investment in the sustainable blue economy. The call of today is more specifically focusing on is about regional cooperation, so the regional flagship projects, which means that it's supporting regional maritime cooperation through cooperative projects at the level of EU sea basins that help to implement common strategies. It's the third call of this kind. We have already 17 ongoing projects that are listed or presented on these slides. You can see the project logos, an acronym. These target different sea basins and different thematic priorities. That is the purpose of these calls each time, to focus on different sea basins and priorities. So we encourage you to consider those ongoing projects and to develop synergy with them or build on their achievements. Just to pick a few examples among the whole list, I would like to name the Cool Blue Baltic project that aims to support the establishment of community ocean farms and local business clusters in the Baltic Sea, considering viable business models and social innovation. Then the Reboot Med, that is focusing on the recovery of coastal and maritime tourism sector through new ecotourism packages that will be tested and piloted in the West Mediterranean. Then another project in the Black Sea, this one DBAN, for Digital Blue Economy and Innovation Acceleration Network, that aims to build a supportive ecosystem for emerging businesses and business ideas in the Black Sea region. And last but not least, Aqua Wind project that is performing a demonstration test of multi-use, integrated and co-located solutions for marine renewable energy and aquaculture in the Atlantic. So you will find more information about these and other projects on the CINEA dashboard. So you have here the link, as well as on the project and results section in the EU funding and tender portal. So you're welcome to consult this information when preparing an application. I don't know if there are any questions from your side before I give the floor to Christos for the introduction of the policy context. Any question? No. So Christos Economou is the head of unit for sea basin strategies, maritime regional cooperation and maritime security in the European Commission, Director General for Fisheries and Maritime Affairs. Christos, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Vincent, and good afternoon to all those that are now connected and attending this Info Day. Thank you for helping us organizing it, and of course all the colleagues in CINEA for working with us in the preparation of this call. As you said, this calls that it's not the first time we address the specificities of maritime regional cooperation. Is clearly a tool that we use to support the work we do with sea basins and stakeholders around Europe. So I'm very glad that today we have the opportunity to discuss one of the most pressing challenges within the EU blue economy, which is obviously related to innovation. So I would like to say a few words about this, and certainly the way that we see the European seas and the coasts represent a very big and immense potential to drive this technological development and stimulate economic growth and deliver solutions for a sustainable future. Now, this potential is very closely to the EU's objectives from transition to a circular and sustainable economy. This is, I think, well understood since the time we introduced and we definitely spent a few years already under the Green Deal and the objectives that we have for following now for a number of years. The EU blue economy specifically is already a major force. In 2021 alone, the established sectors of blue economy employed close to 3.6 million people and generated over 623 billion euros in turnover. And this is in constant increase. I think this is what we notice year after year. And yet, the true potential of blue economy lies not only on its size of today, but on the vast opportunities that we see for the future. And particularly, this is linked to innovation. This is the engine that we will drive the blue economy forward. And whether we're talking about offshore renewable energy, sustainable aquaculture, or cleaner maritime transport, innovation has the potential to transform entire sectors and bring us closer to the goals we set under the European Green Deal, as I said earlier. Now, I would like also to recall two important communications that were issued in 2021. This is also put innovation in the heart of the blue economy. First, the new approach on sustainable blue economy. It was one of the first communications in the beginning of the commission, of the previous commission, to have a new approach on sustainable blue economy. This, I think, gave us a very good framework to develop our policies around it, and also the mission to restore our ocean and waters by 2030. Both initiatives make one thing clear, that innovation is not yet optimal, but it is essential. So it is only through innovating that coastal communities can reshape their economies, create new opportunities, and become local drivers for sustainable growth. Well, we also must recognize that challenges are still there. One of the most pressing ones is how to speed up the transfer of research results into business ventures. I recall this is a theme that we visit and revisit, but we have really to repeat it because too often what we see that ideas, technologies, solutions remain at the level of the lab, and while we really need them to be those that are driving change for the industries and the communities. So despite significant EU funding for innovation, also under the current period of 21-27, particularly through programs like Horizon, we still see a relatively low investment in blue economy. We want to change that. We want that we have more capital coming into the activities of blue economy to develop and deploy new technologies. So for this, we need more strategic partnerships and projects, especially across borders. And the sea basin strategies, maritime cooperation, really have the potential to give these possibilities, to bring innovative solutions to market and to offer, let's say, a better future for the blue economy and the citizens in Europe. To help address these challenges, the Commission also launched initiatives such as the Blue Invest, which aims to support innovative small and medium-sized enterprises in the blue economy, especially those focused on energy efficiency and clean technologies. The call for proposals that we present today goes in that direction, clearly. Through such initiatives, we commit to breaking down barriers in investment and to make sure that the blue economy can thrive as a hub of innovation and sustainability. As I said from the beginning, we have a lot of work to do to bring it to an optimal level. I have also to bring something else into the context because we are now entering the period of the new Commission, and the new Commission is called to develop a new European Ocean Pact, setting the stage for a strategic framework for all ocean-related policies and action. So this pact will ensure coherence across all sectors, but more importantly, it will provide the platform to elevate innovation, knowledge, and investment are central pillars of the sustainable blue economy. So there will be definitely much more to come on the side of the policy and how we can really implement all these objectives that we follow so far. Now, as we move forward, the projects that we will be selecting and supporting through this call will play a key role in shaping these future developments, whether it's by harnessing the full potential of smart specialization or by developing innovative approaches to ocean farming. I think the colleagues, both from the side of the Commission and CINEA, definitely provide the full details. For me, I would say one last word in conclusion, that innovation is not just an opportunity for blue economy, it is its future. So we count on future projects as well that will come through this call to offer concrete results for better and more jobs, and to ensure that Europe remain competitive and a global leader in sustainable ocean-based industries and sectors. So I would close with this one. Back to you, Vincent. And of course, good luck to all those that following this info day in preparing their applications. So all the best.
We have, since you cannot stay with us for the rest of the afternoon, I welcome any questions that the participant may have specifically on your presentation on the policy background. If there is any question? No? Okay. Thank you very much, Christos. I will now give the floor to the colleagues from CINEA and DG Mare to introduce more in detail the call, different expectations, and how the process as well for the application and selection of proposal. So I would like to introduce on my left Karen Martin from the Sustainable Blue Economy Unit, who will provide information on the general conditions and timeline of the call. Then we have Irene Vecchiato from the Sea Basin Strategy Smart Specialization in the Blue Economy and Regional Cooperation team in DG Mare, will be present the first topic, and Maris Stulgis from the Blue Economy Sector's Aquaculture and Maritime Special Planning Unit in DG Mare, who will present the second topic of the call. So, colleagues, the floor is yours.
Thank you, Vincent. I will start just with an overview of some of the key information on the call for proposals. So the call is open. It's been open since the 26th of September and will close on the 18th of February. So you have until then to prepare and submit your applications through the EU funding and tender portal. The overall budget for this call for proposals is 5.7 million euros. A co-funding rate applies of 70%. So that means that 70% of the total eligible costs of your proposal are covered by the EU grant, and the remaining 30% would be covered by the own resources of the participants, of the beneficiaries. The call, as I think you know, has two topics. So there's a kind of indicative budget split for the two topics of 3.8 million for topic one, the one on smart specialization and innovation in the blue economy, and 1.9 million for topic two, which is the one on regenerative ocean farming and innovation in aquaculture. There are some conditions concerning the partnerships. So these are not mono-beneficiary grants. They have to be submitted by a consortium, and there must be a minimum of 4 partners for applications under topic 1 and 2 partners under topic 2. But we'll come back later to more of the detail on the specific eligibility criteria for each of the topics. There is also a specific geographical focus, not just in terms of the partners in the proposals, but also in terms of where the activity takes place. So the focus is overall on the EU sea basins, and most of the activity should happen in EU waters. But then there are some more specific elements regarding the geographical location per topic, which again, we'll come back to later. So that's a brief overview, and then I pass to my colleagues to present in more detail the content of each of the call topics. So I pass first to Irene, who will present topic 1.
Thanks a lot. Thank you, Karen. Good afternoon to all connected from remote. Well, my name is Irene Vecchiato, and I'll be presenting to you topic 1 under this call on innovation and smart specialization. We heard it from Christos a little bit earlier today. When it comes to the EU Sustainable Blue Economy, the main policy framework is set by the EU Sustainable Blue Economy communication that the Commission adopted in May 2021, and the communication really sets up the path for transitioning from blue growth towards sustainability in the blue economy, and it does so by identifying a series of cross-cutting enablers of the transition towards sustainability, and one of which a key enabler is indeed innovation. And today we will be talking about a specific type of innovation, which is place-based innovation in the form of smart specialization. Well, I'm sure that many of you are familiar with the concept of smart specialization, but for those who aren't, I'll give you a brief definition of smart specialization, which is not an easy concept. Well, smart specialization is a place-based, location-based approach that helps member states and regions to identify sectors in their in their economy where they have a competitive advantage, and these sectors are prioritized for national and regional investments, especially investments in innovation. Now, this process is regionally driven, so regions are in the driver's seat and develop so-called smart specialization strategies, so documents that guide investment decisions at national and regional level, especially under the EU cohesion policy funds, but not only, as we are seeing today. Now, the key point is this process, smart specialization, is not really a top-down approach. It is rather something that involves the so-called quadruple helix stakeholders, which is public sector, so regions, as I said, but also crucially the private sector, companies, research institutions, academia, and civil society. So these are the stakeholders that make up the quadruple helix of innovation and smart specialization cycle. This broad, inclusive approach ensures that innovation investments are really targeted and widely supported by those that are affected the most by such investments. And so now I believe it's legitimate that we ask ourselves, why is this approach important for the sustainable blue economy? Well, the answer is that many European regions have already identified blue economy or one of the sectors of the blue economy as key economic sectors with high innovation and smart specialization potential. And to give you an idea of how many of these regions, well, I played a little bit around with the S3 Observatory, and I cropped out a map, which I hope you can see because it's a little bit small. And almost 1/3 of European regions, those you can see in green on the map, have included blue economy or one of the sectors of the blue economy within their regional smart specialization strategies. So it means that these European regions consider one or more sectors of the blue economy as key high potential economic sectors within their territory. So given this interest, we as DG Mare a couple of years ago decided to proactively support the uptake of smart specialization in the sustainable blue economy, and not only at the regional level, but also by promoting interregional cooperation. So by connecting regions with similar priorities, we wanted to spread innovation all across Europe, unlocking opportunities for interregional innovation partnership and projects in the EU sustainable blue economy. And how did we do that? How did we do that? Well, it was definitely a process. And we can see our main milestones on the slide. So a little over 3 years ago, we started analyzing how smart specialization could be applied to the blue economy. And in the meantime, we also consulted our sectoral stakeholders, which led us to identify key sustainable blue economy sectors with high innovation and smart specialization potentials. Now, this brought us in November 2022 to the establishment, in partnership with DG Regio, of a specific dedicated smart specialization thematic platform for the sustainable blue economy. I'll be presenting to you the platform in a minute, but for now you just need to know that from being, let's say, a self-standing initiative. The platform later became, in March 2023, part of the Commission Smart Specialization Community of Practice. Now, last year, we really focused our efforts on getting the platform off the ground, and we welcome interregional sustainable economy partnerships within the platform. So partnerships already started operating within our platforms, and we focused ever since our efforts on providing services, support services to these partnerships, and welcoming new partnerships. So you see, we welcomed the first 2 partnerships on the platform last November, and these 2 other 2 partnerships joined the platform. I mentioned the STRI Community of Practice. For those of you who aren't familiar with it, the Community of Practice on Smart Specialization is the Commission's central hub on knowledge and information as regards to smart specialization. And it supports basically all stakeholders and practitioners that are involved in smart specialization. As I said before, regions, so the public sector, but also the private sector, companies, research, academia, and civil society. And it does so by providing a series of services free of charge. We can see this very quickly on this slide. So the Community of Practice offers strategic guidance and policy advice, including through an expert group and several working groups, community engagement and networking opportunities. There is a website which I encourage you all to visit, and several events that gets organized by the Community Secretariat for the partners. As well as it provides practical support to regions, to European regions, on a broad range of topics, basically everything from the conceptual development to implementation of regional smart specialization strategies. Now, the only way for stakeholders of the quadruple helix to become part of the community and to access these services is by joining a thematic partnership within one of the 4 thematic platforms that are supported under the Community of Practice. And you can see the 4 thematic platforms on the slide in the blue box. And for us, the case in point is the Sustainable Blue Economy platform, as I said before. So here's the platform in more details. As I said, we launched the platform a couple of years ago to encourage cooperation among blue economy stakeholders to develop interregional partnerships and value chains all across the EU and beyond. And we do so by covering 6 main sectors and subsectors of the EU sustainable blue economy. As you can see on the slide, these are the sectors that we covered. And up to now, the platform has welcomed 4 multi-stakeholder interregional partnerships, each focusing on a thematic blue economy sector or challenge. And you can see the thematic partnerships on the right side of the slide as well. Now, some of these partnerships are a little bit more advanced, so they are already applying for joint projects, for joint funding opportunities, while some others are, let's say, a little bit less advanced, so they're just starting out organizing their governance and their activities. You can find more details on the partnership through the link that I embedded on the slide. The main point is the stakeholders that are interested in joining our platform can either become part of one of the partnerships or create a new partnership as partnership lead. For creating a new partnership, there is a specific process which I linked on the slide, and this is something that any of you can certainly have a look at if interested. Now, coming to the presentation of the call, I believe you probably picked it up from my presentation. The platform in itself, but also the Community of Practice for that matter, doesn't provide funding for the partnerships. It does provide some support services, as we saw, free of charge to partners, but it doesn't provide direct funding opportunities for partnerships activities, nor for the projects that may be developed by the partnerships, which is one of the reasons why we set up the platform in the first instance. So the call we present today for topic 1 comes in exactly at this point. And the main objectives of the call for topic 1 that we present today are indeed precisely to animate the Sustainable Economy platform by both supporting existing interregional partnerships, but also by fostering the creation of new interregional partnerships that develop and implement innovative solutions in one of the targeted sustainable blue economy sectors. And the key here is precisely to tap into those existing smart specialization strategies of those regions that have prioritized one or more sectors of the blue economy. So the call really wants to leverage those strategies and support existing, but also build new interregional smart specialization partnerships that drive innovation in the sustainable blue economy. Now, when it comes precisely to the themes and priorities, the call focuses, as I've just said, both on supporting existing and fostering the creation of new interregional partnerships that can deliver highly innovative solutions to the most pressing challenges of the sustainable blue economy. And this means that we expect partnerships to tackle both cross-cutting challenges and sector-specific challenges. Cross-sectoral challenges or priorities are those priorities basically that are critical for the sustainable future of the blue economy and cut across sectors such as decarbonization, energy transition, digitalization, skilling and upskilling of the workforce, etc., while sector-specific priorities are those where partnerships target innovation in the specific blue economy sector or area targeted in the application. So you can see the main blue economy sectors are targeted by the call topic 1. If I take, for example, coastal and maritime tourism, a sector-specific challenge or priority could be, for example, developing sustainable transport solutions within the coastal and maritime tourism industry. This is just an example. Partnerships are expected to define their own priorities based on the sector's needs and develop highly innovative, tailored solutions to such challenges. And in doing so, partnerships are also requested to take a sea basin or a cross-sea basin approach, which means involving different partners from across Europe and possibly beyond. And as Karen said before, we will see later what this means in terms of consortium composition and geographical coverage, and also have to contribute to the priorities of existing EU initiatives and frameworks, such as the EU sea basin strategies, and for topic 1, especially those active in the Atlantic, West Med, and Black Sea, and the mission ocean waters and sea basin level lighthouses. So it means that basically in your relevance part of the application, you have to make sure to refer to the policy context that is relevant and existing initiatives, and explain how your project will address such priorities and contribute to these existing strategies and initiatives at the EU level. Now, when it comes to the core and the activities that can be funded under this call topic 1, getting a little bit more granular, certainly, projects funded under this call must take first and foremost an investment portfolio approach. What this means? So it means that they should identify investment-ready sub-projects that address one or more bottlenecks or challenges in a specific value chain identified in the application within one or more of the blue economy sectors targeted by the call. So I'll make an example so we understand each other. If the sector targeted is offshore renewable energy, a specific value chain identified in the application can be, for example, wind farm operation or turbine maintenance. And within this specific value chain, a specific bottleneck or challenge could be, for example, how to ensure the safety of workers or equipment during maintenance operations. Now, these sub-projects that you'll have to develop are necessary to accelerate the development and uptake of innovative solutions to target this exact challenge, for example, the safety of workers during maintenance operations, within the identified value chain, turbine maintenance, increasing this way the overall competitiveness and innovation of the targeted sector, offshore renewable energy, in the case of the example that I just brought. Now, eligible activities within the sub-projects include the design, development, and testing of new or improved products, processes, and services. And this could include as well the demonstration, large-scale validation or pilot testing to bring these innovative solutions to market. But it also means, for example, adapting existing prototypes to real-world scenarios, such as connecting them to testing and demonstration facilities to accelerate their market uptake and scale up. And what's important for us here is that the project application clearly describes the progress from initial technology or innovation towards the concrete solution being developed and brought to market as a result of the project and its investment portfolio. I'm sure that you've noticed that we didn't specify the technology readiness level at tier L of solutions, because we want to actually keep it open, so to cover not the actual development and deployment of these solutions, but also to cover all those activities that might lead eventually to the development and deployment of these solutions, as well as to activities bringing on in general highly innovative and out-of-the-box ideas to market. And especially for those cases of solutions that are not yet market ready, the project application must also provide an outline of an exploitation plan detailing then the expected way forward after the completion of the project. And this exploitation plan must be accompanied with a concrete timetable and concrete arrangement, including financial arrangements for the actual development and deployment of the solution be identified in the application and developed through the project. So these are the main activities that we aim at supporting. I also highlight them in red, but we also aim at supporting complementary activities, and you can see those in the slide, such as activities improving existing regulations, harmonizing standards, advisory services, activities that help remove barriers or bottlenecks to innovation in specific value chains within the blue economy. But we also aim at supporting advisory services, such as, for example, developing and implementing interregional business or investment plans, as well as capacity building activities, so mentoring, coaching, training, investment readiness support, so activities that strengthen partnerships capacity and help them acquire the necessary skills and expertise to develop and scale up their innovations. And here we particularly appreciate the projects also consider building synergies with existing initiatives that were mentioned before as well, such as Blue Invest. I'm sure that many of you are already familiar with Blue Invest. And finally, the call also encourages networking and the participation in new level events, such as workshop, matchmaking events, and most notably within the Sustainable Economy platform and the community of practice that I presented before. And here I would like to clarify, selected projects are not obliged to become part of the Sustainable Economy platform, but we very much encourage them to consider this as a part of the project activities. For that, there is a completely separate process, as we saw before, and we would be happy to guide you through that process whenever you start the project activities. But this is one of the reasons why we launched this call to populate the Sustainable Economy platform. So I think before moving to the expected results and close, from this slide, the main takeaway has to be that the focus of topic 1 is really on innovation and its concrete applications, meaning innovative solutions that address real-world challenges in one or more value chains of one or more blue economy sectors targeted by this goal. So topic 1 is not about, or not primarily about, capacity building and networking. So here we want to go one step beyond, actually several steps beyond pure capacity building and networking among partners. So much so that indeed when it comes to the expected results and impacts, well, project activities should lead to develop highly innovative, economically viable solutions that benefit one or more sectors in the blue economy, solutions that should be ultimately taken up by industry, public administration, and the society as a whole. We also expect to see the creation of new or strengthening of existing interregional value chains in the blue economy, value chain that in general enhance business and investment opportunities by bringing together different stakeholders from the quadruple helix matrix from different regions in Europe and eventually beyond. And projects are also expected to identify possible sources of funding to support the residual investment needs that cannot be supported by this call, should this be the case. And here again, our plea is to consider, let's say, cooperating with existing initiatives such as Blue Invest, the IB Group, and or other public-private partnerships, venture capital investors, and so on and so forth. In addition to financial impacts, we also expect to see a reinforced capacity of regions, European regions, specifically for cooperation and investment. So by joining forces on common smart specialization priorities, regions can co-invest in projects that bring tangible results to the blue economy. And lastly, the projects funded under this call, more in general, will contribute to a more innovative blue economy ecosystem, disseminating benefits of innovation also at the local level and promoting sustainable solutions, especially green digital solutions that address the blue economy sector's most pressing challenges. So this was it for topic 1. It was a little bit longer, but I hope it was clear enough. So thanks a lot, and I believe Carol, either we can take some more questions, or I can pass on to Maris.
Perhaps we continue with the presentations and then questions at the end.
Okay. Hello, everyone. So I will present you provide some details and background, and also the policy context for the topic 2, demonstrating feasibility and environmental benefits of regenerative ocean farming and boosting algae innovation. So my name is Maris Stulgis, and I'm in charge of the blue bioeconomy, algae, and aquaculture in Marine Unit A2. Maybe to clarify from the onset, what do we mean under regenerative ocean farming? In fact, it's a type of regenerative aquaculture. It's a form of aquaculture that not only sustains itself, but it also actively improves the health of the surrounding ecosystems. And it focuses on fostering the biodiversity, enhancing water quality, and restoring habitats. And as this is aquaculture, so it's important that in the aquaculture strategies, the positive environmental impact is considered from the beginning. Okay, yeah, this a few years ago it was decided, there was a political decision taken that we go for a dedicated algae-related strategy, and that was developed and was called, we call it the EU Algae Initiative, and it was adopted in 15 November 22. And with that initiative, we aim to unlock algae potential in Europe by increasing sustainable production, ensuring safe consumption, and boosting innovative use of algae and algae-based products. And that initiative includes 23 tangible policy actions to support algae sector developments in the EU. But that's not it. So EU Algae Initiative is our main initiative in the algae sector. How we try to reconcile all the efforts at the EU level and act with these 23 policy actions in 4 dedicated policy areas, namely improving governance and legislation, looking at the necessary business support mechanisms, raising awareness and acceptance in the EU, and driving research, knowledge, and innovation. And that this infographic also provides some other activities and action areas that the Commission is doing. So we have created the European Algae Stakeholder Platform, which is the Commission's flagship project in the domain of algae with more than 1,000 registered members. We also work together hand in hand with the national authorities. I will say on that in a moment. We also work with internally within the EU with all the relevant Commission services dealing with in different domains, like you see on the screen: environment, climate, research, agriculture, health, industry, DG research on blue bioeconomy, and so on. And of course, also big area is proposing research and innovation in investment proposals. And for instance, this call is also one of the results of that work, where we suggest specific actions and activities for funding calls. Of course, algae is also part of the European Green Deal, and we can see the complementarities with a number of flagship initiatives of the European Green Deal, on, for instance, restoring and preserving ecosystems, farm to fork strategy, or circular economy, and there are synergies with a number of policy initiatives of DG Environment, Klima, like Water Framework Directive, for instance, to contribute to the cleaner marine waters, or Nitrates Directive, nitrates removal by seaweed while growing at sea, or Green Claims Directive to ensure algae sector provides correct green claims and algae products, sustainable carbon cycles communication to explore all of blue carbon and carbon cycles. Just few examples, but there is much more, and I will not maybe spend too much time on that. One big area of work where the Commission can bring added value and where there is a bottleneck at the EU level is really the local governance of how the algae sector is supported in terms of allocating licenses or maritime space for the cultivation. So, and in this sense, of course, we work with the national authorities within the framework of national aquaculture strategies. We also look at the bioeconomy strategies, maritime special plans, and algae strategies, and how we do that. So we have regular contacts with national authorities. We share the best practices. We try to organize events to inspire of business initiatives and for instance, showcasing or allowing to taste specific products that are already on the market and so on. So this is very important part of working together with the national authorities. Okay, now closer to the core topic. One of the actions that we were thinking in and included into the EU Algae Initiative was funding pilot projects to support the orientation of fishers' careers to the regenerative ocean farming. As we know well that fishers are facing huge challenges to maintain their livelihoods due to declining fishing stocks, climate change, coastal ecosystem degradation, and external challenges like, for instance, fuel prices. And now this initiative is exactly to explore what could be feasible and whether there is the interest and whether it's there are support from local communities for either partly or fully reorient fishers towards regenerative ocean farming. This idea has already capitalized into the free funding calls that you can see on the screen. For those interested in applying for Topic 2, I would really invite you to check out these three ongoing projects and to really submit your proposals that are complementary to what already exists. It's really important that you don't reinvent the bicycle, but you really build on what exists and go further and complement these efforts. So one of the aspects maybe to notice is that there is these three projects are quite actively working in the geographical areas of the North Sea, Baltic Sea, and Atlantic. And we would encourage that for the current call, you could look also more on the Mediterranean, on Black Sea, but all the geographical areas are within the scope of this call for the Topic 2. We will not play this one, but I think that this is a very nice user story, and I would invite you to watch after this event from an Irish fisher, where he nicely explains why his transformation from the fisher towards the ocean farming makes sense from various aspects. It's really also, the DG Mare is funding these Euronews Oceans episodes, and this specific one is really to raise broader awareness on these opportunities for fishers and show the practical aspects and specific user experience on orienting towards ocean farmers. Maybe just a few words. I mentioned European Algae Stakeholder Platform EU for Algae. So it's a platform that provides a lot of useful information for the algae sector. So it has more or less 1,000 registered members. It has 7 working groups, active working groups that are led by the the key European experts in the relevant fields. And next, this contract will finish and will finish in January, and then the new one will run for 4 more years. So this is also supported by the Commission, and it will continue. So topic 2, the main objectives are really to prove the feasibility and viability of regenerative ocean farming. Why is that? So of course we know that you can grow seaweed and shellfish at sea, but the idea here is really that you need to adjust your aquaculture methodologies and methods to the specific conditions of each maritime region, to the local species, because of course the local biodiversity need to be maintained, and it is promoted that local species are cultivated. Also, we aim to boost the knowledge on environmental benefits. So we need to prove that there are indeed the environmental benefits, that as a result of regenerative ocean farming, either shellfish or seaweed or both, they remove certain amount of excess nutrients that cause eutrophication, or certain amount of CO2 that cause ocean acidification. So we really need to have these quantified, and that's one of the objectives. Then also bring new algae-based products and services to market. Of course, there are low-hanging fruits to look at the species that are already on the market. We have in the EU $500 million worth imports of algae-based products, but we could also cultivate a certain amount of these imports within the EU. But there could be also new properties of the other species that could be useful either in food sector, food ingredients, or pharmaceutical or cosmetic sector. So the areas where we would like these bidders to look at is as I mentioned already, feasibility of ocean farms. Feasibility, again, looking at the local conditions and local species to quantify environmental benefits. Also to look at the combination of algae species with shellfish, and they could grow together, but could grow also as a part of integrated multi-trophic aquaculture with fish species. And then the last but not least, bringing new products and services to market, as I just explained. So the main activities here are setting up ocean farms. So these could be preparatory activities, installation and operation, recommendations on best practices, assessing legal barriers and incentives. So I would say that this is really key, because we have a lot of knowledge, a lot of science, a lot of information, but we need to start setting up the farms at the sea, even very small scale, but with local species, using the best available knowledge, information, and data, and tailor them to the local conditions of the European regional seas. Look at the new algae products and services, so development, testing, demos, also the market readiness activities, business planning and marketing, again tailoring to the local conditions. That is important. This gives also the opportunities for networking and awareness raising, because we also one of the bottlenecks that the Europeans don't know really about the potential benefits that algae sector and algae cultivation could bring to the environment and also to people, and that it helps to heal our waters. So it's to promote the benefits, increase social acceptance, engage local communities, matchmaking, policy feedback. So these are the potential activities that are expected. Also important in terms of nature restoration law and recent Commission policies towards increasing the area of marine protected areas. So this call could also look on the viability of ocean farming in connection with marine protected areas. And then also as I mentioned, measuring environmental benefits. to establish what are the baseline data, and then measure what is the amount removed of nutrients and excess nutrients and carbon as a result of regenerative ocean farming, analyze these impacts and quantify benefits. And the results, I think I partly mentioned, but okay, the results of this call are to demonstrate the viability of ocean farms. Again, tailored to the local conditions, species, and communities, to provide the new opportunities for jobs and growth. So here is also maybe not new, but also that partly could be reorientation of fishers and other local blue economy actors towards regenerative ocean farming, increased knowledge on needs and challenges. We know what are needs and challenges, but maybe there are more or different in local communities all across the EU. So increase the awareness and social acceptance. We need to demonstrate a stronger business case for algae-based products and services. And we also would expect the increased knowledge and awareness of environmental benefits. Thank you very much. That's it from my side. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Maris. So as I mentioned before, I come back to the general conditions and criteria for this call for proposals. So first of all, your proposals need to be admissible and they need to be eligible. So admissibility refers to them being correctly submitted in the sense that they're submitted through the funding and tender portal on time and using the correct forms and with the forms completed. For eligibility, there are a number of other conditions that you have to meet, both for the proposal as a whole, but also for the participants and for each of the participants. So I invite you to check section 6 of the call document for the full information on the criteria that you have to meet and to make sure that you do before you submit your proposal, because where they're not admissible or eligible, they won't be evaluated on the qualitative content. So first of all, the applicants need to be legal entities. That means that normally natural persons are not eligible, with some exception in the case of the self-employed, which is explained in the call document. And secondly, they need to be in an eligible country. So that covers all of the 27 EU member states. But for this specific call, there are some non-EU countries that can be eligible. And those are the non-EU countries that are participating in 2 of the EU's sea basin strategies. So we have Moldova, Ukraine, Georgia, and Turkey, who are participating in the Common Maritime Agenda for the Black Sea. And then for the West Med initiative, we have Mauritania, Morocco, Algeria, Tunisia, and Libya, which are considered eligible for the purposes of this call. There are also conditions concerning the area of the activity. So what I mentioned now is the geographical location of the participants in the consortium, but this refers to the geographical location of the actual activities that are part of your proposal. So here there's a distinction between topic 1 and topic 2. For topic 2, the focus is on the 3 EU sea basins where there is a sea basin strategy in place. So those are the Black Sea, the Atlantic, the West Med, and also the EU outermost regions, maritime areas are included. For topic 2, in addition to those sea basins already mentioned, we also have the Baltic Sea and the North Sea, and it covers the whole Mediterranean, not just the western part. So these should be the areas which are the main focus of the activity. So it's not to say that activity can't extend into other areas, but where it does, it should be limited, and only because it's considered necessary for the objectives and the specific nature of your proposal. That's also the case regarding non-EU waters. So normally the activity will be in the EU waters in these areas, but it can extend into non-EU neighbouring waters, again, only to a limited extent and where necessary for your proposal, which has to be clearly explained in the proposal too. There are further criteria that you have to meet for the consortium as well. So we've discussed the individual participants and the criteria they have to meet, the geographical location of activity, and then these conditions apply to the partnership that is in the proposal. So they have to be partnerships, they have to be consortia. You can't submit a proposal as a single applicant to this call. For topic 1, you have to have at least 4 beneficiaries in the consortium, 4 participants, and they have to cover a minimum of 2 EU member states. And the coordinator of the consortium must be from an EU member state. In addition to that, we need certain types of organisation in the consortium for topic 1. So we have to have at least 1 regional administration, and that's for the consortium as a whole, not per participating country. There must be a minimum of 2 private sector entities in the consortium, and there we really mean private sector businesses that are commercially active in the blue economy and the chosen focus sectors of your proposal, and a minimum of 1 partner from research or academia. And overall, we hope to see consortia that are aligned to the quadruple helix, which is an important aspect of the whole smart specialisation approach. So we want to see a good balance between the 4 areas, between industry, academia, public authorities, and civil society in the proposal. For topic 2, there is a minimum of 2 participants in the consortium. And again, they have to cover a minimum of 2 EU member states. And the coordinator has to be from an EU member state. Here, it's required to have a minimum of 1 private sector partner specifically active in ocean farming or algae sectors. And again, we want to see balance in the partnership. So while there's a minimum of 2 entities that are actually in the partnership, it's good to include others, whether as full beneficiaries or in other ways, which we'll come back to later, and to have a balance between, again, the public, private, academia, also NGOs and communities at the level of coastal communities, for example. The evaluation of the proposals is in different parts. So first of all, the proposals have to pass the selection criteria before they are assessed against the award criteria. The selection criteria relate to the financial capacity. So we need to see you have the basic financial resources to implement the project and manage the grant. The operational capacity, which refers to having, again, the resources and the equipment or facilities necessary for implementing the project, and that you're not in any of the situations of exclusion, which refers to situations like bankruptcy or fraud or so on. So that obviously refers to all of the participants in your proposal, in your consortium. Then, once a proposal has passed the selection criteria, it's assessed against the award criteria. So this is on the technical content of your proposal. There are 3 main criteria, and I would invite you to look at the call document to see all of the sub-criteria underneath each of these headings and really shape your proposal to respond to those. So the first is on relevance, which is about the fit of your proposal to the objectives of this call, and the added value at EU and transnational level, and how well it covers the objectives for the chosen topic. The second criterion is quality, where we look at the methodology, the teams that you propose to implement the project, and things like the timing, the budget, and risk management. And the third criterion on impact looks at your dissemination strategy and the transferability of the project results and the longer term benefits that can be derived from your project. So there are 2 thresholds to pass. You have to get a minimum of 6 out of 10 points for each of the criteria. but then a minimum of 21 overall out of the possible maximum of 30 points. The proposals are then ranked according to their score, and we will fund or invite projects to grant agreement based on their place in the ranking list and the available budget. The timetable is, as you see on the slide, so the application phase is open until February. You can already begin preparing and submitting your proposals. And the deadline is on the 18th of February. Then, indicatively, we will do the evaluation part in March of 2025 and inform applicants of the results in May 2025, with the grant agreement signature taking place in October 2025 and projects starting in November. That's indicative, as I say, for the subsequent parts. And projects are expected to last between 2 and 3 years.
Okay, thank you very much, colleagues, for this detailed presentation of the topics and the process. I think we have a few questions that were received. Some were already answered, but many can be addressed now. So, yes. Well, no one wants to answer. The first questions are the sheets supposedly recorded. Yes.
Yes, they are.
It will be shared after the event. On the networking tool, I don't think we have organized.
We don't have a specific one for this call, but on the funding and tender portal, there is always the partner search available. And we also recommend you to have a look at both the CINEA dashboard and the ocean projects, the Mission Ocean project dashboard, to see which projects have been financed in the field, take an inspiration from the partner that took over these projects. And yeah, in my presentation later, I will say also a little bit more about partners. Yeah.
Next question. Yes, is this collaborated with the Horizon program in any way? We can, please.
Yeah, thank you. So the EMFAF is a separate program to Horizon. We encourage synergies with projects that are funded under other programs like Horizon, but it is a separate program, and there are some specificities regarding the conditions and the application forms and so on to be aware of.
But as indicated, indeed, the proposal can build on other projects funded by other programs. We have mentioned some of them in the presentation. Yes, I understand correctly that for priority 1, the Adriatic Sea is excluded?
No, not excluded. No. May I answer perhaps that?
Yeah, Luca.
I think that nobody can see me, but anyway, it's fine. Yeah, you have to remember that the sea basin strategies have a different, let's say, geographical focus compared to the macro-regional strategies. So the Adriatic Sea is not fully excluded as far as it is, the partners is belonging to one member participating countries of the WestMed strategy. So, for example, the Italian partners in the Adriatic Sea can join other partners in the WestMed. And what is important that the focus remain, is guarantee on the WestMed in terms of purposes, objectives of the strategy, of course. In the meantime, I think that, but this I'm talking under control of Karen. Other members, partners from other EU member states are not excluded. So in a way, it's always possible for a Croatian or Slovenian partners, for example, to join again a consortium, which is led, for example, by an entity partner based in other WestMed countries. So, let's say, in absolute term, the answer is not. Adriatic Sea partners are not excluded in principle. They can join.
And all the 27 member states are definitely eligible.
Yes.
Next question, is ship recycling a valid theme for application?
Which topic? I guess one.
Presumably topic one. For topic two, certainly not. Start with the scope. For topic one, there are five. Well, I was going to say there are 5 key sectors or areas that are identified in the call for proposal, which relate to thematic platforms under the smart specialization platform. So the main focus of applications has to be on at least one of those, but that doesn't exclude some activity in other areas, provided that one of the 5 is already covered, and insofar as it's feasible and makes sense for your proposal. I don't know if Luca wanted to add
maybe
something.
If I can compliment Karen, indeed, no, absolutely. Subscribe 100% to what you said. So if we, take as an example the ship recycling question. So indeed, the main sectors targeted at those that are mentioned in the call text. But then within these 5 sectors, you can and you should actually identify a specific value chain where to develop and deploy specific innovative solutions. And in this case, for example, I take sustainable fisheries. Well, ship recycling may very well be a specific, value chain within the broader sector as sustainable fisheries. So the answer is yes, topic 1.
Thank you. And on the funding rate for research in academic institutions, also 70%?
Yes, that's the funding rate for all participants.
It's the same for all participants. Minimum number of partners required. I think this was clarified in the presentation.
Mm-hmm. So it's 4 for topic 1 and 2 for topic 2.
Yeah. So we are partners from fishing industry already active in valorizing local seaweed species in combination with shellfish. Can we focus only on the Mediterranean?
Yeah, I think it's so all the EU maritime regions are eligible, but of course you can focus on one, and I think that Mediterranean and Black Sea are the ones where we still are lacking a bit coverage of the projects on regenerative ocean farming. So it's even could be even a bit more supported than other regions.
Okay. Another question for you.
Ocean. I agree that ocean maybe it's not the very correct word here, but we speak from the notion that we have just one ocean. So meaning that in this case, of course, any regenerative aquaculture establishments at sea, either located in the near the shore or in bays or fjords, or be distant in the shore, like for instance within the wind farms, so they all are eligible.
And on the next one, I think it's also for you, Maris.
Yeah, it's as you can see from the title. So it's mostly the marine regenerative aquaculture that is covered here. We didn't really consider the focus on land-based activities.
And for topic 1 is the Baltic Sea area.
Mm-hmm. Yes, thanks, Vincent. Well, as we said earlier, the main focus for topic 1 is the implementation of the 3 existing use-based strategies. So, the Discover the Atlantic, the West Med, and the Black Sea. However, as we said, there is some flexibility, but besides the pool being eligible for all 27 member states, so definitely not all in the Atlantic, West Med, and Black Sea. But we also said that flexibility is there in the sense that while the main focus has to be on the 3, sea basins covered by the 3 established sea-based strategies, activities could also, involve neighboring basins wherever it is well justified and necessary for the project activities. And of course, you have to justify and well explain this in your application. So the main focus is on the 3 sea basins covered by 3 sea-based strategies: Atlantic, Baltic, could be in principle also, let's say, targeted, but voila, the main focus is on the 3 sea basins, as we said, the West Med, the Black Sea, and Atlantic, because in the end, we want to support the implementation of those sea basins with this called topic 1.
Next one.
I think yes.
Yeah.
Yes, yeah, Adriatic is eligible.
Part of the Mediterranean.
Topic 1.
Then on
Mediterranean.
eligibility of Norway for topic 2. So a lot of questions about the geographical areas for the eligibility.
I think it was.
As a participant, Norwegian entities are not eligible. It's not one of the non-EU countries that is eligible as a participant in the call. In terms of project activity, some limited activity could happen in waters outside of the EU waters, but neighbouring to them, if necessary for a specific proposal and to meet its objectives.
Then the next question is to topic 1. So if you addressing more than one sea basin is better as a start or better as scaling option.
Thanks, Vincent. Well, I think it depends on the innovation and the innovative solutions that you plan on developing and deploying to market. So it's really up to you. For us, well, the call of course takes a sea basin / cross sea basin, interregional sea basin approach. So let's say the more sea basins you cover within, of course, the eligible geographical coverage, the better. But then again, it depends on the specific innovation, innovative solution you plan on developing and deploying to market. It's open to you.
Topic 2.
Yeah, maybe just to clarify again, I think it's a recurring question. So the topic 2, the focus is on the marine waters. We didn't really consider the on-land or inland water aquaculture for this specific call. So near shore is okay. Onshore or lakes, no.
It refers to salty water lakes. I think it's like
Still it's lake. Still it's inland water, no?
Salty water lakes. Yeah. Then there is a targeted number of projects to fund from the EU perspective. I think it was maximum 2 per topic.
Yeah, we expect to fund 1 to 2 per topic. And in terms of the budget, we indicate in the call document an approximate budget of 1.5 to 2.5 million for topic 1 and 700,000 to 1 million for topic 2.
And the question on eligibility or Adriatic Sea, I think was already addressed.
It has been addressed indeed. So we said main focus, 3 sea basins covered by the 3 established sea basin strategies, but this doesn't mean that other sea basins cannot be somehow as well covered. So Atlantic Sea indeed is not excluded in this sense. And besides, all 27 member states are eligible, as we said before.
Could you clarify what is meant by regional administration? Regional agency considered acceptable actors among those involved.
Well, you want to go?
I can start if you like, and then if you want to complement. So we intend public regional authorities, particularly those that have a smart specialisation strategy and that are responsible for the implementation of that smart specialisation strategy.
Thanks a lot indeed, but it doesn't mean, of course, the regional agencies are not eligible as a partner within a consortium. Let's say the condition that we put as having one regional authority, at least as part of the consortium, is indeed, as Karen said, for public administration regional authorities, let's say, strictly speaking. Then, of course, regional agencies can be also part of the consortium as some other kind of partner, so they don't count against the criterion of at least one regional administration being part of the consortium.
This on the top was
This one we already addressed. Next one also. We include Posidonia oceanica in algae.
Yeah. Okay. Posidonia, it's a seagrass, and strictly speaking, it's not an algae. But it's a good question, but we don't explicitly exclude the seagrass restoration. But as we speak about farming, and seagrasses normally are not part of the aquaculture activities. Normally it's seaweed or shellfish.
Okay, thank you. Is it permissible to have one or more partners from one basin and one or more partners from another basin?
Maybe for topic one, absolutely. It is absolutely possible, and we actually encourage interregional cooperation. So more partnership from as many as possible sea basins targeted under this call. And for topic two,
yeah, absolutely. Absolutely the same. And also looking at the next question, it's the same. It's not only Med and Black Sea. Of course, all EU maritime regions are eligible, and combination of few regions are also supportable.
What about projects located in Brittany?
Well, yes, they're eligible by all means under the two topics, as we said.
Do you need to be a member of a S3 platform in order to be eligible?
Maybe I can take that one. So no. Then, of course, the selected projects will be very much encouraged to become partnerships within our sustainable economy platform. And for that, as I said earlier, there is a completely separate and independent process, and we will be very happy to guide you through the process. But you don't need to be a member of the platform now in order to be eligible for the full topic one.
As an innovation funding entity with Blue Economy in our S3, we would be interested in applying if the funding allows for financial support to third parties. So it's kind of cascading.
Financial support to third parties is not allowed under this call for proposals.
Or cascading.
Exactly. Yeah.
Not allowed. So we have local partners working on flagship lighthouse for Blue Economy. Can we include algae innovation as part of topic one?
Yes, absolutely. This is absolutely eligible for topic one. Yes. And by the way, aquaculture is both freshwater and marine aquaculture as regards to topic one in the way we need it for our platform, sustainable economy platform. So yes.
Then cascade funding. Possible under this call?
Again, no, it's not.
So then we'll see basins other than Mediterranean and Black Sea be considered in topic 2, or higher are the chances for other sea basins?
I think that was replied. So the combination of different sea regions is supported, and there is no necessity to be only from Med or Black Sea.
And last question for the moment. Yeah, I think we have already addressed that. So yes, this one also there. So I think now we can invite you to continue putting your questions on Slido. We will address them at the end of the presentations. Now I would like to give the floor to Giulia Carboni, who's Program Coordination Manager in the Sustainable Blue Economy in CINEA. She will present us tricks and tips to write a successful proposal.
Thank you, Vincent. Good afternoon, everyone. So here we are with the EMFAF call for proposal. Before you begin, I'm giving you some basic tips, but sometimes it's useful to listen to them again. So, of course, read the call documents. Really ask yourself if it fits your idea. Especially, you'll find the most important reference in the call for proposal text, but also in the model grant agreement. You need to check if your project really fits, scope, budget, timing of the call. Can you meet the special requirement and general requirement? Many questions have been asked and replied, but there might be more that you have in your head, and you'll find the reply in the call documents. And of course, do you know who you can work with in a consortium? So find the right partners. The consortium issue is really a fundamental one. It's a requirement in the call, as Karen mentioned, to be at least 4 beneficiaries on topic 1 or 2 for topic 2. And in any case, you need to cover minimum 2 EU countries. So if you're still looking for partners, please see the partner search tool on the call page in the EU Funding and Funder portal. You can also refer, as I mentioned before, to the CINEA project dashboard or the Mission Ocean dashboard. There you will find other projects, see which were the partners, and get an idea, get the contents of potential partners. Once you have found them, you need to, and once you have your partners, you need to check that the partners, that all beneficiaries need to be eligible and not in a situation of exclusion, for example. You might see warning in the system when you submit if the basic requirements are not met, but it won't block you. So if you don't meet the criteria, it is really up to you as an applicant to check. It's the section 6 of the call document. No, it's not just a question of finding a partner to make the minimum eligibility, obviously, but establishing a partnership and allocation of roles that make sense for the project. Getting a good balance of private, public, academic, and communities where needed. And remember that there are different possible roles, so assign them properly. You could have full partners, so that they have to have an action task, perform work within the project work packages. But other roles are possible for third parties that in some way give resources to the real project actors. It's also possible to participate as an associate partner, but in this case, they are not subject to eligibility or viability checks, but they also do not receive funding. So, about filing your application, this is the next step, and you need to do it online through the submission module in the Funding and Funder portal. So, clicking on the Start Submission button, practically. You must submit through the portal. Proposals submitted any other way are not admissible. And please do read all the instructions and guidance and follow them in terms of how to submit, but also what sort of information to include in each field. Please do respect the formatting rules, and the page limit is 60 pages for Part B. You'll get a warning if you exceed, but submission won't be blocked. But you need to know that any excess pages will be blanked out and won't be seen by the evaluators. Make sure that the forms are complete with all information from all partners. It is a responsibility of the coordinator to check the completeness and the submission. Of course, the partners might contribute their parts on the information, but the final responsibility lies with the coordinator. I'm a bit stuck. No, I'm not stuck anymore. So we were saying ensure the application is complete. If missing any documents or mandatory annex, the proposal can be considered inadmissible and be rejected. So you might see warnings again, but submission won't necessarily be blocked. So it is important that you do check that everything has been submitted that was required. Regarding Part A, we're talking about the online forms to complete. So this is the administrative information on participants, all except subcontractors, in-kind contribution, etc. Some information on partners will be taken by the system from the information that are already held in the participant portal. But do check that this is complete and up to date. Part B, that's the technical description of the project. So to say the narrative part, where you have the limit of page, you can download the template, you can complete it offline and re-upload it as a PDF. So follow the fields and instructions and provide a narrative on the project. Give us a background, the aims, work package, timelines, and resources. Provide a detailed estimated budget. This is also available to download, but not mandatory at application stage. If you are selected for funding, you will have to complete these detailed budget tables afterwards. The budget at this point is an estimate, but please be as accurate and realistic as possible. Also ensure that the information in different parts is consistent. So check consistency between part A and B. For example, all participants are in the budget, even associated partners with zero cost. Subcontracting mentioned in part B description is the same as entered in the budget information. And the task allocation in the work package is aligned with the consortium partner as mentioned in part A. Let's say the final tip on really how to write your application. Be specific. Avoid generic description in the proposal. Do not just reference to relevant policy framework. We mentioned those in the call document, we know them. But do explain how your project specifically contributes to them. So for other elements of project management, don't fall in the temptation of copy-pasting a generic risk management plan or some one-size-fits-all communication activities. They must be specific and relevant for your topic, for your proposal. Do respond to the award criteria. Use the forms to guide you in writing your application, and look carefully at the award criteria that are mentioned in the application forms, against which the technical proposal will be evaluated. Make sure that it explains clearly how your project meets them, including the sub-criteria that are mentioned in the call document as well. Please put yourself in the shoes of the evaluator, who will be looking in your proposal for evidence of how well it meets those criteria. So make sure that they are set out there convincingly, clearly, and unambiguously. Balance, ambition, and feasibility. Of course, proposals should be ambitious. We are looking out for them, but in line with the expectation of the call for proposals. And also they need to show that the project is feasible, realistic, and will lead to something concrete and technically robust. So give us clear indicators. They are useful to provide the proposal that you can get to your projected KPIs, and that they are achievable. As mentioned before, choose your partner wisely. Pick a consortium that match the project activities. Don't just go out there for big names and allocate the role well, so that to avoid sleeping partners that might be relevant in the area but not actually going to operate in the action task of the proposal. The consortium in terms of numbers and type of partner should be aligned and proportionate to the activities that are planned in your project. Explain how you will maximize the project impact in terms of communicating the findings and results during and after the projects, and also on how you will encourage uptake and diffusion in other sea basins, for example. Consider how will you use the project results to feed back into policy, into shaping future policy actions in this area. Your project deliverables should include a policy feedback brief at the end of each reporting period. Pitch your idea. Of course, this is not an elevator pitch. You do have 60 pages to explain your idea, so use them wisely and try to be clear and concise. The evaluator doesn't have to dig into the pages to piece together and puzzle what's your main idea, why it responds to the identified need, how it is going beyond the current state of play, what difference it makes. So be sure to set out clearly what are the immediate results, the midterm outcomes, and the longer-term impacts of your project. For further guidance and support, you'll have the funding and tender portal. You'll find there all the guidance and documents under the guidance and doc section, your land manual, the how-to section that gives you the IT steps to follow. You can search the frequently asked question for general question on application and submission process or EU funding. You will also find there the question and answer specific to the call that we will be published soon on the call topic page on the funding and tender portal. For other questions not answered that we will not be able to answer today, well, contact CINEA. Note that we cannot give you a prior opinion on the eligibility or admissibility of a proposal or a participant, but we can offer guidance to help you understand the condition and the requirements of the call. So that's all from my side. Back to you, Vincent.
Thank you very much. Giulia, I would like now to give the floor for our last presentation to Mariadomenica Cugnidoro from the Research Executive Agency. She will introduce the registration process in order to participate. Mariadomenica.
Thank you very much.
Thank you. Thank you. Good afternoon. I'm Mariadomenica Cugnidoro from the Central Validation Service that is in the Riyadh Research Executive Agency of the Commission. Today, I'm going to explain you how to register your organization in the participant register and get your PIC. This operation is necessary for your project participation. So this is what we are going to see together. First of all, I would like to talk very briefly about the Central Validation Service and its role in your project participation. Then we will going to talk about your registration in the participant register. Then we are going to see the legal validation and legal entity appointed representative, the LEAR. We will be talking about the communication, and I will show you some guidance document. I will provide you with the links to these documents that will be useful for your application. No, what happened? Oh, sorry. What did I do? Yeah, okay. So in the Central Validation Service, we verify the legal existence and the legal statuses of the entities against supporting documents, legal supporting documents that we request during the registration. We validate the appointment of a legal entity appointed representative, the LEAR. We validate legal changes of valid entity. We assess the universal takeovers, which are the merger, and we do other tasks that are necessary for your correct registration into the system. So first of all, I would like to underline the fact that an entity, in order to participate to a call, they need to be registered in the participant register and get their PIC, the participant identification code, which is a 9-digit code. Okay, so let's assume that I'm an organization and I want to participate to a call. At the proposal stage, I need to register my organization in the participant register that is in the EU funding and tenders portal. The first operation I need to do is to check whether my organization has already a PIC in the system. So I will go into this white window and check for the name of my organization. In case the organization is already registered, I need to use this PIC, the PIC valid of this organization. In case it's not registered, then I need to register my organization from scratch by starting clicking in this blue box here, register your organization. And by clicking there, I will open a workflow that in different steps. Okay, so I will need to include in the form some specific information about my organization. And for this, I would need to have some documents at hand because I would need to put the VAT number, okay, the legal name we know. There are some other organization data and legal information. At this point, I am a self-registrant, okay? So I register my organization and I have the opportunity to register other authorized users, which are my backup if I'm not available, so that the registration can be concluded also in another moment. So after all the steps are fulfilled, the registration is completed, and I will get my new identification code, the PIC code, and this will be in a declared status. Okay. So this is the validation process overview in this page. We saw together the registration that is done at the proposal stage. Then the second step, the second session is the verification and validation of legal data that is done in the Central Validation Service against the legal supporting document that we request to the applicant when it's the moment to validate their PIC. And afterwards, after the validation of the PIC, we need to validate also the LEAR entity appointed representative, which is the LEAR, that is the contact person of the Commission service and the organization. And then in case that it needs to start from the applicant, okay, the self-registrant, register the organization, and at the stage of the proposal. So then there is the verification of the data against the supporting documents, and this is done by the Central Validation Service. After verification and validation of the PIC of the entity, then there is the request to appoint the legal entity appointed representative, the LEAR, which is the bridge between the Commission service and the organization. And the appointment of a LEAR is mandatory for all validated participants. Without a LEAR, you cannot sign any contract. Here in this slide, we have the summary of the roles and duties of the LEAR. The LEAR can notify the EU of changes of legal data and legal status, submit legal and financial documents if required, and has many other roles, including the nomination of account administrators. The account administrators are a kind of a backup of the LEAR, and we suggest the LEAR to nominate more than one account administrator. So in case the LEAR is not available or leaves the company, leaves the entity, then there is always another person that can enter into the PIC and reply to the requests from our side. The LEAR appointment documents are displayed in this page. We have the LEAR appointment letter that has to be signed by the legal representative of the entity and the LEAR. Then we have the official proof of identity of both the LEAR and the legal representative, and then the proof of empowerment of the legal representative, because we need to be sure that the person that appoints the LEAR has the power to do so, because it has the power of signature. It can engage the entity in its entirety. The communication, as I told you before, is exclusively managed through the participant register. So when we, for example, from the validation service, we need a document, or we need to contact you, you will get a message, but also a notification that will look like this in your emails. So then this is a warning for you to check in your page of the participant register. But it can happen that I am an applicant and I lose my access to my PIC. We have underlined two scenarios. In case of declared PIC, so non-valid PIC, in this case, for example, the self-registrant left the organization and there are no other self-registrants, then a new PIC needs to be created, and our services, the Central Validation Service, have to be informed. In case of a valid PIC, if the LEAR is not available anymore and there are no accounts administrators, a new LEAR needs to be appointed, and this is done via the LEAR recovery procedure that is accessible through the Funding and Tenders portal. And you have the hyperlink here in this page to get access, quick access to it. And the last slide, I would like to show you some guidance document, and you have here the link. These documents are very important for your registration, especially the online manual. So in case you have issues, you can first check there and then go back to us. Thank you for your attention. I'm sorry for the hiccups, but I hope that it was clear. Thank you. If you have any question, I'm available to reply.
Thank you very much, Mariadomenica, and apologize again for the technical issues. Now we have still have some time to answer your question, and I invite you to put more questions if you have some to clarify the submission process, the validation process, but also some of the financial aspects of so we have now with us the colleagues from the financial team. Who are able also to address specifically the question related to the legal and financial aspect for the submission of your proposal. We can go to the questions. I think we still have questions concerning the previous presentations. Yes, and I invite you also to like the questions, so no need to repeat or submit again a question that was already addressed or that another raised before you. So just vote for the questions that you have identified. So starting then with the first questions. So can companies from Norway join as an associated partner without funding?
We will publish a costing management in the specific case, but in principle should be more and more. Yes.
So on the situation of Norway, I think we already mentioned before that they're not eligible as full beneficiaries. Whether or not they could participate without funding in some role as an associated partner. We can come back on this and publish a more complete answer on the funding and tender portal on the page for this call for proposals. But we would recall that the geographical focus is on specific EU sea basins and doesn't extend directly to seas neighbouring with Norway. So it's more of a no, but we can come back with a more elaborate answer on the funding and tender portal.
Thank you. First question now is how is the funding allocated in terms of direct cost overhead? So maybe for Fernando Carvesa or Vittorio.
Yes, so this is a financial question. Can you hear me? Thank you. So in EMFAF, we have a split of 7%. I mean, indirect costs are 7% of the direct costs. And this applies to the total costs. And then we will, to calculate the amount to fund in the grant agreement, we will still apply the co-funding rate. That's it.
Thank you. Then we have a small private company. Okay, we are back. Sorry again. So for the topic 2, which would be the final TRL to be addressed? So the technical readiness level.
I think there is no direct TRL mentioned in the call document. So ideally, of course, it's the higher the better. But you cannot for all call activities you cannot really measure in terms of TRL. If you speak about the marketable products, then of course this is a high TRL. If you speak about educational activities or preparatory activities to set up the farm, that this could be lower. So there is no really the specific limitation related to TRL.
Then we have another question for you concerning technology that can be used. Would an IMTA system focused on seaweed production linked to fish cage farming be eligible?
Yeah, thanks. Strictly speaking, EMTA is not a regenerative aquaculture farm, but I would say that EMTA as focusing on seaweed production, then it could be eligible.
Okay. Maximum budget per project for topic 1. Can you give us an indication?
Yeah, indeed, there's an indicative range mentioned in the call that proposals should have a budget between 1.5 and 2.5 million euros. It doesn't preclude the submission of proposals requesting other amounts, but that's the indication that we put forward. And of course, you have to bear in mind the total budget available and the indicative budget available for the whole topic as well.
Then you have more financial question. What is the financial eligibility criterion for a specific partner?
So, just to say that this is based on several documents that are being assessed, like the profit and loss account, the balance sheet, the business plan, audit report produced, and this is something as our colleague explained, is done by the Department of REA, where they collect these documents, the most recent one of the last 2 years, to assess the financial capacity. And there is this also, because you mentioned a small company, please be aware that in case you are requesting less than 60,000, then there is no financial capacity assessment for that beneficiary. So keep in mind also that. Yes, these are also things mentioned in the call document that you can find in detail. And there is a formula that calculates the different aspects that are based on the last closed financial years of the documents you provide.
Thank you. Then we have a question. Can you give an example of a regional administration partner?
Well, Tuscany region, Brittany region, Andalusia region, this sort of entities, so regional Flanders, these are regions.
So it's a regional public administration.
Indeed, regional public administration.
Are improvement on ships, for instance, the design, which are used for ocean farming, eligible? The aim would be the reduction of fuel consumption, improving farmers' economy.
Well, on the topic 1, yes. It definitely sounds like smart specialization. I'm not sure about topic 2. Probably not really the focus. So
yeah, I don't think so, because these are high capital costs and funding is not so big.
Topic 1 rather, I would say. Yeah.
Okay, next question. Can a region within the eligible locations with no S3 blue economy strategy apply to be part of a consortium?
Well, yes, it can. So it can be part of a consortium, but cannot be counted against the criterion of having at least one regional administration in the consortium. That region, let's say, meeting the criterion, has to have a smart specialization strategy in place, with blue economy as one of the sectors that are listed. But definitely regions with no smart specialization strategies in place and not targeting blue economy can also be part of a consortium. But these are not counted against the criterion of having at least one region with a smart specialization strategy in place with blue economy in.
Thank you. Then we have financial question. Is the financial support to third parties possible under this call?
No, it's clearly mentioned in the call text, so it's not eligible.
Okay. Yeah, then I take again the one that was last. What is the funding rate for research organizations?
70%. It's the same for any beneficiary, any type of entity.
So unlike other programs, maybe in this call, it's the same funding rate for all organizations. Could you possibly clarify again which sea basins countries are eligible? This is part of the presentation, but okay.
Yes, we could mention it again. So eligible in the sense of eligible participants, it can be an entity established in any of the EU member countries or in the non-EU countries participating in the Common Maritime Strategy for the Black Sea and the WestMed initiative. So those are listed under the criteria in the call. In terms of eligible activities, the geographical location is different, or the geographical focus location is different per topic. So for topic 1, we have a focus on the 3 EU sea basins for which there is an EU sea basin strategy. So again, it's the Atlantic, the West Med, and the Black Sea, as well as the EU outermost regions. They are covered. And the focus geographical location for topic 2 includes those sea basins, but extends also to the North Sea, the Baltic, and the whole Med. But activities can take place beyond those areas, provided that they are limited, they're not the main focus, and that they're justified in terms of the nature and the objectives of the proposal.
Thank you very much. Next one, if clusters are involved as partners, can they be regarded as representatives of the quadruple helix?
Yes, they can, but they cannot be counted against the criterion of having at least 2 business entities with commercial activities in the sectors, because by that criterion we mean to address industry, so SMEs, startups, companies, but clusters, trade associations, business associations, representative bodies can be part of a consortium, yes.
Okay. Then the next one concerns topic 2, concerning private sector partners to represent the requirements. These need to be involved in production or also in other steps of the supply chain.
Yeah, this is not specifically mentioned in the call that is only dedicated to production. It could be entire value chain where the industry partner is involved within the EU algae sector.
Yeah, the next one is also for you, I think, about bivalve's production.
Yeah, as mentioned a couple of times, then the shellfish production is also part of regenerative aquaculture, either in open sea or in the marine coastal waters.
Because in topic 1, again, about exclusion of Adriatic Sea.
Maybe again, we didn't say that we would exclude the Adriatic Sea, but we said that the focus is on the sea basins that are covered by the 3 established sea basin strategies. So again, Atlantic, Black Sea, and West Mediterranean. However, we also said that all the 27 member states are eligible, and in terms of project activities, besides the main focus being on the 3 sea basins, we have some flexibility. We consider also activities that may expand into neighboring sea basins. So the Adriatic Sea is not excluded on topic 1.
And the next one as well for you, on the exclusion of Baltic and North Sea.
Same answer.
Same answer. Next questions?
That was answered, TMT.
TMT one we already addressed.
I
think again, this is a similar answer. They're not excluded. Yeah, the focus is on the 3 sea basins for which there's an EU sea basin strategy, but Greece is an EU member state and so is eligible as an applicant, and activity could extend into the Eastern Mediterranean to a limited extent and where appropriate for the proposal.
Thank you. So the plan should be realizing the 3 focus areas. Again, So we already clarified this now several times.
I think that there is still a misunderstanding on this because when we say member states that are belonging to the West Med, it means the entire territory in the sea that are interested in the member state. So, as we say, is more an issue for, let's say, Slovenia or the partners entity that are based in Slovenia, in Greece, in Croatia, that they need to partner with other partners. But for example, the entire coastal line of Italy, the Adriatic coastal line of Italy, is included in the West Med. So there is no particular issue in this regard. Yeah.
So definitely also the Adriatic.
Then the eligibility of freshwater blue bioeconomy.
Not necessarily, let's say, a specific sector or subsector being part of of a CBASE strategies, but freshwater blue bioeconomy is eligible under topic 1, as we said before. So this is included.
And the next question for you, Maris, brackish waters.
Yeah, again, we speak about marine waters. I'm not 100% sure now whether from the law of the sea definition point of view, blackish waters are marine waters, but river deltas normally are not.
I think that we should perhaps just have a check from our side, and we will publish an answer. Question and answer specifically.
So we will clarify these aspects in the Q&A section that will be published on the funding and tenders portal. Then we have a clear and comprehensive answer, hopefully. So then back to topic 1. Is FSTP possible for innovation funding entity with blue economy in its S3 as a way to stimulate its blue economy ecosystem? Does it make sense?
It's financial support.
Financial support.
So it's not eligible because by the
Yeah.
On this one we have already addressed.
Perhaps we may just clarify that the entity should be part of the partnership. So it shouldn't be to a third party. In a way, if they need to support some companies, business, startups, they should be included in the partnership, in the consortium.
Working with non-EU partner, does it give an advantage?
But maybe, let's say, not clear advantage in terms of, let's say, selection process, but we definitely encourage cooperation, including interregional cooperation between EU and non-EU partners, especially within the implementation of the 3 established CBASE strategies. So definitely, let's say, an added value in terms of, I guess, the technology transfer and innovation you'll develop, not necessarily a competitive advantage in terms of selection process.
Okay. And the 2 last one, they are the same, you already addressed.
Yeah, it's more or less the difference is one is saying about seaweed, another is about shellfish farming. So in big lines, as I said, that the EMTA would be eligible, but of course you need to prove and demonstrate the notion of regeneration while working in the EMTA establishments.
Okay, I think we have addressed all the questions. Thank you very much for your active participation. And thank you to all the colleagues around the table, the speakers, for the clear and detailed presentations. All the material will be shared with you, as we said, after the event, and it will be published on the call page. You still have the possibility to send us questions. They have to be sent to the functional mailbox CINEA EMFAF calls. You find the details also on the website. Also, before you leave, we will be really grateful if you could complete the feedback survey that we have for you on Slido. So take a few minutes of your time. It's very useful for us to prepare future info days on upcoming calls. So thank you very much, everyone. I would like to conclude to wish you good luck for a very successful applications and projects, and have a nice rest of the afternoon. Bye-bye.